Hey everyone, welcome to the video. My name is Dwayne Thomas. I'm the author of Visual Latin and the author of Word Up. You can find those linked down below. Today we are in first year Latin, chapter 1 by Robert Henle. You can also find that linked down below if you don't have a copy of the book. And we are going through exercises 8 and 9 together. In exercise 8, we are practicing with the genitive case. So if you look at the charts above, I've got them here for you. You can also find those linked down below. They're totally free. Just download them and use them. We'll find that the genitive is here. It's this second row all the way across. So here we have the genitive second declension masculine, which we're going to learn in chapter 2 of Mr. Henle's book. Here we have the first declension feminine, which we're learning in this chapter, chapter 1 of Mr. Henle's book. And then these other declensions we'll learn later. In exercise 8, we are to translate into English these phrases. So here we have Gloria province. Gloria province. So what we have is the glory, and if this were a sentence, I would write S above it and in below it for subject of the sentence nominative case. And then for province, we have this word is in the genitive case. So if we take the word provincia and then we put it in the genitive case, we end up with province. Province. Some people will say in a restored classical pronunciation, provincie. So province is the word. So we have Gloria province, the glory, and whenever we use the genitive case, we're going to use the word of or an apostrophe. We'll talk about that down below in exercise 9, but we'll use the word of. So the glory of the province. All right. Number 2, Victoria naute. So naute is in the genitive case. I always put the genitive case in parenthesis like this, and I'll explain why when we get to exercise 9. But I always put the genitive case in parenthesis like this, and I'll write a G underneath it for the genitive case. You can imitate this if you want to, or you can come up with your own system. This is just what I've been using to help my students see over and over again, what are we dealing with here? So subject of the sentence, nominative case, the victory, Victoria naute, of the sailor. So if we have naute here and we have naute here, that would be of the sailor. Victoria naute. Right? It's in the genitive case. Genitive case right here, we're focusing on these guys right here. Vie, viarum, those endings. Number 3, Gloria Maria. Gloria Maria. Gloria, subject of the sentence, nominative case. What are we saying about the glory? It's the glory of Maria. And she's in the genitive case, Gloria Maria, genitive case. Number 4, Gloria naute. Gloria, subject of the sentence, nominative case. Whose glory? The glory of the sailor. Gloria naute, genitive case. Number 5, Silva province. Silva, subject of the sentence, nominative case. That's the forest. The forest what? Of the province. Silva province. Of the province, the forest of the province. Province, imitating VA up here. Number 7, nope. Number 6, Victoria, subject of the sentence, nominative case, Victoria natarum. Here, this is plural genitive. You can see it right here. Viarum means of the roads. Natarum means of the sailors. Victoria natarum, of the sailors. And then we have porta. Porta means door or gate, subject of the sentence, nominative case. By the way, I always underline the subject one time, which I've been doing throughout. And then we have province, the port of the province right here, province, port of the province. Okay, that's exercise 8. It was quick and easy. Let's scroll down to exercise 9. I'm going to keep exercise 8 up because a lot of these are just translations of exercise 9 or variations on exercise 8. Exercise 8. Let's jump in. So we're actually going to go to 3 and 6 first, and then we'll come back to 1, 2, 4, and 5. So the gate, subject of the sentence, nominative case, and then we have of, preposition, of what? Of the province, object of the preposition. And I put a P above of for preposition, and I put an OP above province for object of the preposition. We don't need to do anything with the article adjectives in Latin. We don't need to translate those. Of is a preposition of the province. is the prepositional phrase. In English, when I'm doing this with students, or in other languages when I'm doing this with students, I always put prepositional phrases in parenthesis like this, as you see here. So we have parenthesis around of the province. That's what these curved symbols are. And then underneath, I'll write G again for genitive, because it's in the genitive case. Even though in English, we don't have to deal with that. But when we translate it into Latin, we're going to use the genitive case. So to say the port of the province, we would actually go up here to porta provinciae. Now in Latin, I'm going to put parenthesis around it as well, even though it's not a prepositional phrase, because in Latin, we don't have the preposition of. We simply put the word into the genitive case. So the gate of the province, porta provinciae. So genitive case, and we use this genitive ending here. And remember, I told you that we're going to use the preposition of whenever we're dealing with the genitive, which is what we've got here. So via means of the road, viarum of the roads, provinciae of the province, porta provinciae, the port of the province, the gate of the province. You know, I think I said port up here. It should be gate. Porta is gate. Portus is harbor or port. So porta is gate. So the gate of the province, porta provinciae. Okay, number 6. Down here we have the forest, subject of the sentence, nominative case. Of, preposition. Of what? Of the province, object of the preposition. The forest of the province. Of the province is a prepositional phrase, and when we translate it into Latin, it's going into the genitive case. We don't need to do anything with the article adjectives. So what we would end up with is the forest of the province, forest of province, and we don't even need to do anything with of, so we're just going to say forest and then put province in the genitive case. So what we end up with is silva provinciae. Silva provinciae. So number 6 is number 5 above. Silva provinciae. Okay, so you can use the preposition of, or in English, we can switch things up and we can use something called an apostrophe. So here we have the gate of the province. Here we have the forest of the province. We could say the province's is gate, which is kind of tough to say, or we could say the province's is forest. Clearly, I'm having a hard time with that word. But we could add an apostrophe S to the end of province. And that's what we've done here. Now with 1, 2, 4, and 5, we could switch it up and say the victory of the sailor, the victory of Mary, the fame of Mary, and the victory of the sailors. But instead, Mr. Henle has us using apostrophes here. So when you see the apostrophes, I also want you to think, oh, genitive case, because that really means of. Okay, so the sailor's victory, the victory, subject of the sentence, nominative case, even though we don't have a sentence here. I'm just getting you used to these symbols. Whose victory? The sailor's victory. So whenever I'm teaching my students these concepts, I always use an arrow for adjectives. So this is an adjective because this adjective is describing victory. But I would call this a possessive. And by the way, the genitive is what we use for possessive. This is the phone of me, right? This is my phone. These are possessive words I'm using. This is his phone. These are possessive words I'm using. So whose victory are we talking about? We're talking about the sailor's victory. So that's a possessive, or the victory of the sailor, we could also say. We're talking about the sailor's victory. So it's a possessive. It's a noun, because the sailor is a noun. And it's an adjective because it's describing victory. So we would call this a possessive noun adjective. And the symbol that I use for an adjective is an arrow. So that's all English grammar. How would we translate this into Latin? We would just continue using the genitive case. All right, so the sailor's victory would be, sailors is going to be in the genitive case. The sailor's victory would be victoria naute. Victoria naute. All right, Mary's victory. Victory would be the subject of the sentence, nominative case, if we had a sentence. Whose victory? Mary's. This shows possession. It's a noun, and it's an adjective, so we have the arrow there. It's really the victory of Mary, Mary's victory. So what we would use here is Victoria Mariae. Victoria Mariae. Victoria Mariae would be our translation. Victoria Mariae. Mary's victory. Mary's fame. Fame would be the subject if we had a sentence, nominative case. Whose fame? Mary's fame. It's a possessive noun and it's an adjective, so we have the arrow for an adjective. So Gloria Mariae. We could use the word fama in Latin. Fama means fame. But we could also use Gloria. Gloria Mariae, the glory of Mary, Mary's glory. Fama Mariae, the fame of Mary, Mary's fame. And finally, the sailor's victory. Victory, subject to the sentence, nominative case. Whose victory? The sailor's victory, possessive noun, adjective. It's in the genitive case. We have an apostrophe at the end of this word. So the sailor's victory, do we have that up here? Yeah, we do. Victoria Nalte. Victoria Nalte. The sailor's victory. Okay. It was a little bit complicated. You'll get used to it though, because we're going to use this stuff over and over and over again. Languages are a little bit like math. Once you learn a concept in math, it doesn't go away. When you learned how to multiply numbers, you didn't, after fourth grade or third grade, whenever you learned to multiply, you didn't get to say, oh, good, I'm done with that. I never have to think about that again. No. It never goes away. You use it for the rest of your life. Same with Latin. Same with languages. Once you learn a concept, you just build on that concept. So the genitive case we use to show possession, and typically we will use the word of, or we will use an apostrophe. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next class.